In Japan, the Godzilla films are all available under one roof, but in North America, it's a little bit more difficult. We got lucky that the Criterion Collection went above and beyond to put all the Showa Godzilla movies under one roof, including the Japanese version of King Kong vs. Godzilla. You can now acquire the entire Showa films under one Blu-ray collection, or watch them all on HBO Max or Tubi or YouTube even, with the exception of King Kong vs. Godzilla because Universal owns the American version. But what about the Heisei and Millennium movies? Will they ever come to any streaming service? Well, a recent deal between Sony and Disney might make that a possibility. Before I continue, the following commentary is pure speculation. I'm merely theorizing potential possibilities. With that said, let's connect some dots. In April 2021, entertainment news outlets announced that Sony and Disney have made a landmark multi-year deal. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Sony Pictures' upcoming theatrical slate and much of its library are headed to Disney's streaming and TV platforms. So, could the Godzilla films that Sony has the license to end up on Hulu or Disney Plus? Maybe. Because according to Disney themselves, this is a landmark deal. So it would make sense to take the films of an iconic franchise like Godzilla and put it on one of your streaming services to attract Godzilla fans to your platform. More subscriptions mean more traffic and revenue that will benefit both Disney and Sony. So I don't see why either company wouldn't take advantage of that. This would benefit Toho as well. This deal between Sony and Disney only applies to the United States, and as of this moment, the Heisei and Millennium Godzilla films are not available on any service in the United States. Not even Crackle, a streaming service owned by Sony. Back in April 2019, Toho gave $140 million to Toho International as part of their plan to work more with Hollywood on Toho's intellectual properties and expand the Godzilla franchise on a global scale as well. This new deal between Sony and Disney is an excellent opportunity for Toho to expose Godzilla to a new generation of fans, which is why I think it's a good idea to dump the Heisei and Millennium Godzilla films on Disney Plus instead of Hulu. Children have easy access to these streaming services, and more than likely, these children are more active on Disney Plus, which will lead some children to stumble upon Godzilla, and boom, a new generation of fans will be exposed to the radioactivity that is Godzilla. However, the other reason why the Heisei and Millennium films might not end up on any streaming service is because of Toho. Toho is infamous for making questionable business decisions. They tend to shoot themselves in the foot. One possibility of this trend continuing is that Toho will demand a ridiculous sum of money from Sony and Disney, but the two will likely agree that the cost isn't worth it and say to Toho, "Thanks, but we're good." That's probably one of the reasons why none of the Heisei or Millennium Godzilla films ever ended up on Netflix or Hulu. As of this moment, Mill Creek has the license to nearly the entire Ultraman catalog. However, the same Ultraman library has ended up on many of Shout Factory's platforms. The reason why is because Shout Factory is sub-licensing the Ultraman franchise from Mill Creek for streaming and television purposes, with Subaraya Productions' blessing, because they want their property to get more exposure. Subaraya has their eye on the ball. That same scenario could possibly happen with the Heisei and Millennium movies under this new Sony-Disney deal, but we'll have to wait and see. Many of you are probably asking, but Gorzar, does Sony even have the rights to those Godzilla movies anymore? Yeah. If you go to Sony Pictures' website and type in Godzilla, you'll find most of the Heisei and Millennium Godzilla catalog available with purchase options. If Sony's rights to the Heisei and Millennium films had expired long ago, then legally the catalog shouldn't be on Sony's website, unless they want to get sued by Toho. So there it is, people, my deduction on how most of the Heisei and Millennium Godzilla films could or could not end up on Hulu or Disney Plus. I wouldn't hold my breath. It seems that Disney's priority is getting the Spider-Man movies to Disney Plus as soon as possible, and getting those Godzilla movies on either platform would require renegotiations with Toho and updated payments. Personally, I hope this does happen because streaming is the future. Kids nowadays watch their movies and shows through streaming. I doubt a majority of them buy or rent the physical copies because streaming is more convenient. But we'll have to wait and see if the stars align to turn this possibility into a reality.